Hi everyone, hope you are doing great. Today we are diving into how the combination of AgentQL and Playwright is changing the world of test automation. Before we deep dive into the topic, let's quickly understand what AgentQL and Playwrights are and why they make such a powerful pair. AgentQL or Agent Query Language is an AI-powered query language for web scraping. Web scraping, it's a process that helps to extract the data from the websites automatically. It involves fetching the web pages, parsing the HTML, and extracting the useful information. Some of the common use cases of web scraping involves market research, price comparison, automation, and more. Whereas Playwright, a powerful end-to-end testing framework for modern web application. It supports Chromium. Chromium is Chrome and Edge, Firefox and WebKit. WebKit is a Safari browser. It works both on head and headless modes. It also supports API testing, making it a complete test automation solution. Let us try to understand why the combination of AgentQL and Playwright is so successful. This is because of the underlying facts like no more fragile selectors, works without XPath and CSS selectors. Here the entire identification of the element works based on the queries. It is not with the XPath or the CSS selectors. Because of this, it adapts to the UI changes. In case in a future, if the UI of your application changes, then you need not have to change your test because you are not using the element properties to identify the elements. You are using the query language to identify the elements. Human readable queries. Okay, all the elements that you can identify using the human readable queries. It uses natural language instead of a complex element locators. Integrates with Playwright easily. The AgentQL integrates very easily with Playwright, runs across the multiple browsers. And REST API support can extract the data even without a browser. Let's use AgentQL along with Playwright to perform certain action on a given web page. To use AgentQL, you need to have an API key. Click on Get API Key. This will redirect you into a page where you can register or you can create an account with AgentQL. It allows two combination, either with GitHub or with the Google. I will go with Google. Now click Continue. Now you can click here, create a new API key. To create a new API key, copy this API key and you can also give a name, and don't forget to copy this and click OK. So setup is done. Basically you can now use AgentQL. The next step is to install the Chrome extension. For this you can click on the extension link here and then go to manage extension, and then here you can click on Chrome Web Store. Here you can check for AgentQL debugger and then click here to install that. And click Add to Chrome. Give Add extension. Now the installation is completed. Now your extension is ready to use. You can see, you can find your extension here. So your AgentQL extension is ready to use. For today's exercise, I will be using a demo website by name Orange HRM. So in order to bring the AgentQL extension, you need to right click and click on inspect, and you can see here the AgentQL, right? And what you can do, I'll try to move here. You see, you can see an AgentQL, and for the first time you'll have to enter your API key. And you can give your API key here and click save. Now your AgentQL is ready to use. In order to identify an element, you need to click on page tree. This will bring the entire DOM structure of your web page, and click on this icon and navigate to the element whose properties you need to identify. And there are two buttons here. One is an eye. When you click on eye, it brings out a table filling out all the properties of this particular element. Or you can also click on this tag. This will take you into the element properties in your dev tool. Okay, element properties in a dev tool. Let us go back to AgentQL and let us try to write a query to identify the username, the password, and the login button. Okay, so you'll have to write a query here. So the query will always starts with flower bracket, and inside which you'll have to identify the which element you want to identify. For example, if you see this is a text box, and if I go here, this is an input element. Again, this is also an input element, right? So what I can do, I can come here and I can write a multiple I can also write multiple queries here. For example, username underscore input, password underscore input, and then you also have a login button, and login is of type button. So I can write login as a button, right? Button. This is my query, and if I click fetch element, it has to list me these three elements, right? These three elements. Let us try that. It's trying to fetch it. It uses an artificial intelligence in order, and it is a natural language processing. It uses natural language processing to identify the elements, right? So see, if you see, it has fetched these three elements. And if you want to fetch a data, if you want to extract a data, you can also use fetch data. Currently for username, you have username here. For password, you have password. For a login, you have login. Okay, using this query, simple query, you can basically extract the element text from your web page, and you can also do a lot of operations. Whatever the operation that you can do with the normal Selenium using XPath or CSS, you can also do along with the AgentQL. Here you need not have to specify the XPath or an ID or the text or a CSS. Rather than you can just write a simple query, which is in plain English level language. Okay. So if you see, there are two login items here, right? For example, you have a login with the button, and you have a login as an header here, right? Header text. And if I go here, it is with, sorry, if I go to a page tree, take this and go here, and if I, sorry, it is bringing a page. If I go here, yeah, so the login, yeah, let me close this and again try to inspect and bring AgentQL, and then open page tree, and if I come here to login, login is of type, it's of type header. Okay, header. So there are two login buttons here. How basically this AgentQL identify them separately, that can be done if you specify it as a login, it has an login header, and if I try to fetch this element, it will fetch this header element and fetch the data, will get a text. Okay, and instead of this, if you can write login as a button, this basically will try to fetch this element and they extract the text from this. Okay, let us do the element here. It has shown me the two elements, one is with the header and one is with a button. Another one, when I try to fetch the data, it fetched the header as well as the button text. How effectively AgentQL can identify an element is depends on how nicely you can write a query. It is similar how well you write a prompt to get something from ChatGPT. So everything, the heart is completely depends on the way you write your queries. So you need to know how to write a better query. Now let us see how to integrate AgentQL with Playwright. For this exercise, we will be using Python as a programming language. So in order to work with AgentQL and Playwright, you need to install the corresponding Python modules. You can install the Playwright module using pip install Playwright. And for AgentQL, you can use pip install AgentQL. Let us go and do that. I have already installed it, but I will show you how to do that. You will have to do this using a command prompt. You will have to bring a command prompt and then you will have to type this command pip install Playwright. So it says I have already installed, otherwise it will take some time to completely install the Playwright and corresponding dependencies. After this, you need to run a command Playwright install. Copy this command and go to command prompt. This particular command downloads and installs the required browsers like Chromium, Firefox and WebKit. It ensures the compatibility with the Playwright version that is being installed, and it makes the browser available for automated testing. Let us go and install it. I have already installed it. That is why it is not showing anything. In your case, it will take some time to install the complete browser binaries. After this, you have to install the AgentQL Python module. So you can do this using the pip command, pip install command. Go to command prompt and paste this command. I have already installed this particular version. Yeah, so it says that it is already installed. Otherwise, it will install the AgentQL along with the needed dependencies. Once all the needed Python modules are installed, that is the Playwright and AgentQL, you need to set your API key, AgentQL key, into an environment variable, and the environment variable that carries the API key is AgentQL underscore API underscore key. So you have to bring your environment settings. And then you'll have to go to environment variable, and then you'll have to create a variable with the name AgentQL underscore API key, and then you'll have to enter your API key here. So you can do it under the user variables or under the system variable. The system variable is the better place. So you can also go to the system variable and set this variable. You can create a variable by a name AgentQL API key, and here as a value you can give the API key that you obtain from the AgentQL portal. So that you obtain from your AgentQL portal, right? So once that is done, so now basically you are ready to create a script, right? So for that you need to bring the favorite IDE. In my case, I will be using the PyCharm. I have written a sample script. This sample script will go and open the demo website and perform the login operation. Let us try to analyze the script. So in this section, I will be importing all the needed modules like AgentQL, the Playwright. In case of Playwright, I will be using the synchronized version of Playwright. And also I am importing the TK component, which is the graphical user interface, and I will be bringing up a message box here. So in order to show the complete operations, the automation operation, otherwise the operation happens so quickly that it will immediately close the browser. You will not get a chance to see what is happening in the background, right? So and after that, what I am trying to do here, I am trying to retrieve the API key that I am stored in my environment variable, right? So for that I will be using os dot get command, environment command, and I will be storing it in an API key. And if this API key is not found, then I am raising an error, value error, and I am stopping the script. This is because AgentQL works only when you have valid key that is stored in this particular variable. Once this is successful, I am trying to configure the AgentQL with the API key, and it has to be passed with the parameter API underscore key, and I am passing whatever the value I get it from here. And then I will be initializing the URL variable with the URL that I want to automate it, where I want to perform the login operation. And in the previous section, as I told, I am writing a query. So the same query I have used, the user input, password input, and login button. These three queries will try to get the element identifier for username text box, the password text box, and for the login button, the element identifiers for that. That is my query. And then I will be initializing the Playwright in an headless mode equal to false. That means it will basically open a browser. The browser will not run in an headless mode. It will basically open the browser, and then I am try to wrap this browser using the AgentQL wrap, and using that I will be bringing up the new page. And once I get an page object, using this page I am trying to navigate to the URL. This basically opens the browser, and the open browser happens basically here, and after that I will be going to that particular URL. It will open the browser and it will take you into this particular website. The website is the Orange demo, okay, Orange HR demo, okay. And after that, what I am trying to do, I am trying to identify the element using the query, and this will basically give me a response, and the response will have a parameter called as an username, as an password input. Whatever the parameter that you pass here, the same parameter you will have to use along with the response, okay. Then this is a text field. I am trying to fill the username as an admin and password as admin123, and it is, if you see here, these are the user details I need to pass, okay. And after that I will be trying to click the button, okay. And basically this query is very important, and you can go here and you can inspect here and bring the AgentQL, and you can write a query here and fetch the element, and if you navigate here, it should show you these three elements, right? So that is how you can make sure that your query is working fine. So before if you're writing a query in the program, you can come to the AgentQL, the inspect part of the your browser, and try to run this query and see if it works fine. Once you confirm that, then basically you can put it into your script. Okay, this is done. Now basically it will go and fill with the admin and then password, and try to perform the click, and then I am waiting for the next page to come. And meanwhile I am also waiting for a message box, so that I can keep the session alive and I can show it to you. Once I click OK in this message box, then it closes the browser. Let us go and execute this script. And if you see, it opened the browser and it took you to this particular website, and it basically performed the login operations. And it basically opened the Chromium browser. I think now it also gave us the message box. As soon as I click OK in this message box, it will close the browser, and I will go into another browser here and I will fill in these details just to show you whether it performed the login operation correctly or not. You can see it is basically taking you into the dashboard page. The same thing, your script also done the same thing. That means the login is successful. This is how you can make use of the AgentQL's AI power to, along with the Playwright, to perform your test automation effectively. So now what I will do, I will go and close this message box, and this closes the browser. If you want to understand the capabilities of AgentQL in detail, you can explore the documentation of AgentQL. Click on the link docs. So here you can find the quick start, and you can also go in detail to understand the AgentQL. And so there are a lot of tools, and it provides a lot of tools and examples. You can explore them. So you can see the Python based examples and JavaScript based examples to how to interact with the web elements and how to extract the data from the given website. And there are a lot of tools that are also available, like the command line tool, the Python SDK, the JavaScript SDK, the REST APIs and things like that. And you can also find a playground here, so where basically you can play around with the given website. For example, in my case, I have loaded the Orange HR the page here, and so whatever the operations that you did with the Chrome browser extension, you can also do here, right? Basically, you can write the queries, trying to identify the element, trying to fetch the data and things like that. Okay, let us go back to the documentation, and here there is a very detailed documentation how to basically write a very good query or an effective query. So best practices for writing the queries, how to pass the context to the queries with the prompts and things like that. Okay, this documentation is very which is in detail how to write a valid query or an effective query that makes AgentQL to work very effectively. I hope you enjoyed learning with me. In this session, we explored what is AgentQL, what is Playwright, and what is web scraping. We explored how the combination of AgentQL and Playwright makes a very effective test automation solution. We also went step by step through creating an API key for AgentQL and configuring it, installing the AgentQL Chrome extension, experimenting with queries on a demo website, installing Playwright and AgentQL Python modules, and writing a sample Python script to automate a web page using AgentQL and Playwright. If you found this helpful, do not forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching.